Well, hello, good afternoon, and welcome to another stream of EU4, where I will talk about, comment my 1538 world conquest. So, let's hit play. So yeah, we grabbed exploration at the end of the last video, the last stream, pretty near the end. So I'm going after the very juicy trade company region, provinces in trade company regions like the Philippines, the Moluccas. And yeah, at war with Kutai. Also with Kutai. I've sent the colonies to grab a CB against Brunei. It seems it's gonna be redundant. Or not, because I still haven't beaten Kutai. Trying to wipe their armies. It's important to wipe out their armies, because then their willingness to peace out increases substantially. So they don't have an army, they will way more, they will be way more willing to accept annexation. And that's what I want to do. Instead of, as you could see there, I first tried to land on the target, but it takes forever and 1 day to do an amphibious landing directly onto enemy territory. So it's better if we have a province that doesn't belong to an enemy, where we can land and then access the enemy province. It's faster, much faster. Just takes a few days to land, and then a few days to get to the desired enemy province, especially as a horde. The hordes didn't see their did not add any movement nerf. So it's great because we can we have that advantage over the other dudes. We're very close to becoming Indo. I'm checking every time I take Hindu provinces. I'm checking for the see if I'm allowed to convert to Hindu. It's very important. That's gonna give me another 10% for creation cost, and it decrease, and it's gonna decrease the coring time by 10%, which is very important. Let's just level 1 fort, the maximum amount of cannons to at this point in time, without the last age ability. The maximum amount of cannons that can be useful to speed up the siege it's 6. So 5 for the maximum bonus of the artillery, and an extra one just in case we have a disease outbreak. Of course, for level 1 forts. So I'm gonna definitely, for sure, culture shift to probably Filippo to core all those guys. bringing another stack to try to speed up the conquest of Jiangsu. Like I said before, I'm using the navy. Try to speed up the movement of at least some stacks. Extremely important. Yep, ended up being redundant. There we go. Looks like I'm gonna, this time around in this run, I'm gonna actually culture shift to Bornean instead of Philippe. Philippe was in the other run. My memory. Like I said, I made 3 attempts. This is the third. I did some stuff differently. It all depends, but all of the opponents. Right, I made, I think Utai was allied with that guy. Mahapit, or one of them was. It was very, very convenient because I didn't have the CB against them, and they were willing to, if I recall correctly, willing to join a coalition. For what I did well to Kutai and other stuff. Very convenient because they're both Hindus, and well, it saves the travel, saves the one less trip that the colonists will have to do. Yep, I'm bestowing gifts and to try to grab prestige, to be able to placate Mongolia, to steal more land from them, to grab more land from them. Oh, alright, I already, come on, I'm seriously, this is going very fast and I'm not actually doing my best with the commentary. Of course, I realized while I was playing that the dudes, the colonists going to Borneo would be redundant, so I cancelled him and sent him to the Spice Islands to grab a CB on the, well, on Tidor and well, from the dudes from the Spice Islands. Next stop for the colonists gonna be, I think, against a Pazai or someone, or whatever, whoever's there in the okay, there we go. I found the province. It's Siak. Am I really sending the colonies to border Sundga, whatever they're called? Because I'm gonna grab provinces from Mahapid, so I'm not sure what's going on there. Clearing the templates and finally grabbing creating a template that I'm gonna use for the most. I'm gonna use sometimes, but mostly I'm gonna use 10 mercenaries, 10 mercenary infantry, and 10 mercenary artillery, 10 regular artillery. Okay, probably I am in my mind. I don't have any intentions of annexing provinces from Mahapit in the very near future. That's probably why I'm doing that. Sending the colonists to grab a CB against the neighbors from Mahapit. And more zombies. Again, trying to make these vassals have like minus 2000 liberty desire or something along those lines. Just in case I needed them later for the near the end of the game. Using cannons to carpet siege. I'm not gonna attack the infantry with a couple of cannons. There's no point under those circumstances. So I'm gonna leave, well, 5 cannons, since I still have the other dudes to kill. Great, I'm engaging them with 5 cannons. I just want to speed up things. Trying to find the best general available that I have available to the job. I'm doing my best. I'm doing what I can to attack, to conquer Jiangsu with just 1 stack and all those rebels running around. Hello Murdak, welcome, good afternoon. I'm trying to next Bhutan, but they're not willing, not yet. Mongolia giving me helping me by sieging the capital with their 6 regiments. So with the colonists, we'll still need several months to arrive. People are leaving the coalition, which is a great sign. It's a sign that we're very strong and obviously in conjunction with lots of truces. Another stack is coming online. We're very near. We are very, very, very near to becoming Hindu. Hello, Inside Toast. Welcome. There we go. Let's go after Brunei. One less dude to join a coalition, because it will soon be down to one province minor, and we'll have a pretty big truce with him. Or we'll... yeah, one province minor. Did you truce break a lot? Yes, later. Later it became the norm. For now, I still needed to catch up with regard to tech and ideas. So I avoided truce breaks, but eventually it became the norm. Again, this was in the hopes, I've sorted in the hopes to grab the 2 manpower, 2000 men from the fort. And I did it consolidate. Yep, more Hindu provinces in Saint John's. We're really close. At this point I was really close to becoming Hindu. Extremely close. And that speeded up things by quite a bit. More admin available and less scoring time. So I had minus 65 core creation cost after 65% core creation cost after becoming Hindu. That was a mistake. I should have prevented those guys from spawning by harsh treating or something. I'm still coring that, I think, but I may be misremembering. And Bahman is down to 2 provinces. Trying to take as much land as possible, say almost 100. So 98, that was the best that I could do. And at this point I should be Hindu, should be able to become Hindu. There we go. I'm gonna put a missionary there. At the beginning of next month, I'm gonna make a pause here. What I was checking here was to see if the rebels here in this province there was any rebel faction active with more than 30% or at least 30% progress. I realized, because I'm pressing another one. I realized that there was no rebel faction, I think. So I decided to keep the missionary there. It's important because if there was a rebel faction active with that 30% progress, at the tick of the next month, you would not have any Hindu rebels, Hindu zealots. You know, in the queue, we would be contributing for the separatists, because there was no rebel faction at the very least 30%. It was below that. At the tick of the next month, the rebel type is going to change to Hindu zealots. We could do it this way, or we could pick up a province where there was no unrest whatsoever, put a missionary there. As long as the unrest there was, as long as we have at least 0.1 unrest, you'll be able to accept demands the next month, and it will be zealots. Not sure what I'm doing there. Looks like I want to culture shift or something, because I canceled the coring, right? There we go. We're okay. Yeah, because I'm gonna be Hindu, of course. Duh. So Hindu minus 10% core creation cost, minus 10% core creation time, which is extremely important. The coring time went from 19 months to 16. Which is very, very relevant. Hello, Fruit Strike, welcome. Nice to see you again. And you're welcome. My pleasure. As long as there's some interaction, I will be, you know, that I won't even notice that I'm the time passing by. You know, I'm enjoying what I'm doing. If I'm just talking to myself, then it's absolutely boring. I would prefer to be playing instead of talking to myself. Or doing something else. And we have Janzu by, I'm sorry, sorry for the expression, by the balls. They're almost done. Looks like my air grabbed a discipline trait or something along those lines. Didn't. Okay. Now I have a bunch of problems in China, because that's no longer right religion. So I am above 100. It's time for some pain, or to enable the edicts or grab corruption, or else this would all explode. They were not paying for the fort there. Luckily. In once, I remember, I think it was this run, I was like, I need to grab corruption or this is all gonna explode. You saw me pressing the base button twice. It was because of that. But at some point I pressed it even more. Go all the way to 10. We gain more tolerance by being into an extra tolerance of Edens, which put my tolerance at -1. So I didn't have much unrest in those provinces because of being wrong religion. The thing is, I had of over 100% overextension. On top of my own rebels, I have to deal with the zombies from Muscovy too. Okay, hopefully nothing important will happen. I need to check something. What do you think about 1.25? It's time that... Is time like that possible in this one? Yes it is, but it's gonna be a bit harder. Because apparently... Double piece no longer works, so... I would have to... I would not be allowed to make any mistake using this strategy. But I was thinking about something else that might improve this even more, but I haven't tested it and I'm not gonna do it anytime soon. This is too time consuming, I mean, too demanding. So I would rather chill for a while, play... Maybe someone beats my record. What do you... Right, let's focus on these. Another dude's gonna bite the dust, KTOR, I think that's the name. Gonna go down. As you can see quickly, with more artillery, and with increased force limits, slowly but steadily, I'm always improving the standing army. The amounts of wars are piling up at 100% war score. Waiting for the overextension to go down to be able to core them. The solution was obviously at this point, like I said before, said that if this happened, that's when I had to culture shift, and that's what I'm gonna do. I'm just waiting for the provinces near Brunei, the ones that I took from Kutai to core, so that I could culture shift to speed up the coring to 8 months. Hello Tip, nice to see you here. I was wondering if everything goes well with you. I almost sent you a message yesterday because, well, you always drop by and I was kind of wondering. You are a very good teacher. You should do a video series on how to world conquest with an easy nation on normal for newer players for the game, to teach the basics of what is necessary to get a world conquest done, says Fruit Strike. Yeah, I almost did it a few months ago, but I prefer to play than to edit videos or comment them like I'm doing now. So I guess I'm in a good mood to be commenting. But maybe, just maybe, I have ideas about that. The problem is now I start doing it. Okay, I'm fired up to do that. But then something comes up that has priority over gaming and those videos, and then Paradox puts another patch out, and boom, goodbye. It ceases to be relevant, you know. If YouTube, well, I mean, I have like 300 views. Every video that I put out has like 300 views. That's not enough to. That's enough to buy a chewing gum or something along those lines. So I can't make a living out of YouTube. So that's the problem. If I had more views, then yeah, sure, I would probably do more stuff like that. But other stuff sometimes has priority. Like, for example, right now I have 24 viewers, even though I don't want to turn this into another rant. Just saying, I've done lots of incredible stuff or very difficult stuff in this game. I'm probably like the 10th guy on Twitch now with viewers or something. So it says a lot. Did you check the new patch? Is hard on money now, could be a big difference. It's hard on money now, could be a big difference, says Tip. Yep, the money received a shit ton of... was very nerfed in this patch, and I commented about that yesterday. Okay, I selected a policy to be able to, a native policy to be able to grow faster, so I had to go there and kill the natives so that they wouldn't rebel and screw up my colony. I'm not sure. I guess I was afraid that the colony would take forever and one day to complete at plus 10 settlers or something, so I selected that policy. Anyway, thanks Fruit Strike for the compliments. Something like France or Muscovy or Ottomans or VJ. If I do it, it's probably gonna be with Ming again, but I have to think about it. This time I really have to do something, you know? Not gonna do another campaign with Ming. Then don't do it. Then don't do a video about it. It seems I can bypass the operation. That's very good news. Oh, awesome. I'm very happy for you, Tim. Very good news. Ming is very boring. Yeah, I know. But I have an exciting strategy for Ming. I think, at least for me. I'm not saying I'm gonna do it. I'm just saying that if I do that video, which most likely I won't do it for the reasons that I've said. But if I do it, it's gonna be with Ming. Ming is still the most powerful nation in EU4. Played with the proper strategy. It's gonna be a very different strategy than the one that I did last time. When I would end... it wouldn't be in record time, but because it wouldn't be, but it would be a very fast world conquest. Anyway, I've been using, like I said multiple times, I've been using the... there we go, the Timurids were bankrupt. They were... everyone jumped on them. So they ended up completely wrecked and bankrupt. What I was saying, I just lost my train of thought again. I was talking about Ming, right? Alright, I was checking if I could embrace the institution, because I need to be able to embrace the institution for a very important step of this campaign. But it's still gonna take a while. I still need like 16 years or so. Kazan World Conquest is not really the kind of World Conquest for new players. Okay, for now I'm commenting these, and eventually I'll start another campaign. So, but I guess this series itself, this series is also a good series for someone willing to try World Conquest, because much of what I'm doing here, or much of what the majority, I wouldn't say the majority, a big part of what I'm doing here, it can be useful on a slower paced World Conquest still. So I miss that province from how they're called, Brunei. They've recruited a bunch of troops and are invading me. So I was like, where the hell did those dudes came from? And then I realized I had forgotten to siege that province between Borneo and the Philippines. So that's what I'm taking care of right now. Jeonju is ignoring his territory to go siege me. My vassals are doing what they can to take the provinces back. That was a very short-lived invasion. My truce with Baluchistan is up. I'm probably going to declare on them to do a double peace on the Timis. I'm not 100% sure, but by the looks of it, that's what I'm going to do. I don't see a poll. Yeah, you're right. I actually didn't have the time to do it. It's not the poll, it's what I needed. A few things, a few suggestions to put there, tip, and I had none. So I was gonna put there, like, I probably gonna put there some games or some campaigns, and probably if I put a certain game there, it would probably win, and I'm still not willing to play it right now. I don't play it for 2 years, and I need to catch up before I play it, and more stuff. Maybe later I'll do it. Hello, Camrar. Welcome. No, Camrar is on this stream. Please, Tim. I got ahead of myself by saying that I was gonna put a poll here on Twitch, and that was a mistake. Issue embargo. Alright, trying to grab some more prestige, but my tributaries are not very prestigious. I prioritize the smaller ones because the bestow gifts is cheaper for the smallest ones. But sometimes no one has prestige apart from the bigger countries. So prestige is important because of several things. But the morale of armies is what I care the most under these circumstances, that is. Okay, time to improve the loyalty of the tribes. Looks like I've enforced religion. Yep, enforced religion on my vassals. The reason for this is that that's something that's needed for the next age. Age of Reformation, one of the age objectives is to force someone to change religion. It's enough to do it on a vassal. That's why is that important? It's important because the Age of Reformation has an amazing age ability, which is the religious wars. The faster I grab it, the faster I can world conquest. So I was thinking ahead. The more age objectives I complete, the faster I can grab that idea, that age ability. You see, I'm losing at the moment. I'm losing over 70 ducats a month. I own all this territory, and I'm losing. I'm not using cavalry because cavalry is expensive, and I'm losing over 70 ducats a month. We clearly needed more money nerfs because this was not enough. Losing 80 ducats, 100 ducats per month was not enough apparently, because some dudes in that I don't know, like to stare at the screen and do nothing for extended periods of time, said that there was way too much money in the game. So now anyone doing a world conquest, because like 100% of the money coming from development has to go to fight corruption, it's gonna suffer even more because of those persons, those experts. And I'm gonna shut up. Okay, this is gonna be an amazing relief. Taking humanist ideas. You have no idea how happy I was when I pressed that button to grab extra 25% religious unity, to grab -2 unrest. I still need the tolerance of Edens, extra tolerance of Edens. It's badly needed, but this will be useful to reduce the pain. The masterminds at the forums. Yep, Kamrar, pretty much. Hello, Seal King, welcome. Excellent expression, camera. Alright, that's another dude that wanted to join a coalition is about to die. And I'm gonna core the majority of these lands. All these wars are piling up at 100. This is all gonna be cored, but almost at the same time. It's not exactly at the same time because I don't have enough diplomats. I just have 3 of them, and there's the traveling time. There you go. Take care of this guy. And another wipe. I love wipes. Malacca was my tributary. And we're now at war with them because probably they were allied with Siak. That's why I had my troops there waiting. I think that's what happened. Waiting for the declaration of war. Yeah, but the merc spam is a bit ridiculous though. I mean, the endless pool of money army. I don't understand. Actually, I don't use cavalry. I don't use cavalry. It's like each one of these mercenaries has more or less the cost of a cavalry regiment, give or take. I'm using all infantry. I was using an all infantry army before actually mixed with regulars and no cannons, just until a decade ago. And I was losing 40-50 ducats a month. Now I'm losing a bit more because well, the money, the, the force limit increases, but the provinces don't give me enough money to pay for extra regiments. So I'm always losing, hemorrhaging money, because the provinces are mostly useless with regard to income, unless you don't do shit. Always at low army maintenance, don't core anything, and then yeah, you're sitting on a big pile of money because you're not doing anything with it. You're not paying the army. You fight a war every 10 or 15 years. You're sitting on a big pile of manpower. If you're always at war, you're always scoring stuff, corruption will kill the development income. So we're down to the income from raising, from looting, from raising, from the trade, and from gold basically, and war reparations. Because the development income goes down the toilet because of corruption, and the corruption is still going up most of the times. People crying in the forums because there's too much money in the game. It's because they don't do world conquest. They're Spitfires for the big majority. I only started seeing some money when I conquered all these. Like I had the entirety of China. I had the entirety of India. I had the Philippines. I had, all these rich lands with regard to trade. And my capital was in Europe. At that point, I started being slightly better with some 13 merchants or something along those lines. But I always had deficit, so... Again, because all the freaking money... See, now I'm trying to find a solution. Trying to grab some money, because I was crashing, the economy was crashing. I was gonna crash due to lack of money. That's because that's why I said yesterday, I'm eagerly awaiting the time where provinces will have a negative income for, say, 100 years, giving me maximum, say, this province gives me 2.46 ducats, right? It would be the other way around. It would be the other way around for like 100 years. Then over the next 200, I would eventually receive those 2.46 ducats per month. I'm just waiting for something like that. To make this make the economy of U4 even more ridiculous. I mean, what I'm trying to say, I don't want to rant. I'm saying all these changes punish the people that do well. You do well, you get punished. Whatever you're doing, that's well. You're beating the game many times fair and square. You get punished. It's just punishment after punishment. At some point, it becomes ridiculous, and we're reaching that point, in my opinion. Unless we do, like in that tutorial that I did a while ago. Unless we do that, unless we play the way Paradox wants us to play. If we play the way Paradox wants us to play, we'll be swimming in money. We won't have to fight rebels. And so on. I'm gonna put a link for the people that still haven't seen that video. This is very interesting. I made a tutorial back in 1.16 about IV4, the way to try to help people play the way Paradox Development Studio wants the game to be played. So if you want to do that, that's the perfect video for you. Alright, so I'm continuing to conquer all these lands. All these lands, these islands are all of the same culture group, which means that the moment I finish coring the provinces in near Brunei, I'll be able to culture shift to core them all in just 8 months. So it doesn't matter if I grab 300 overextension or whatever overextension, as long as you get rid of it before 10 months have passed, we'll be alright. We'll be fine. Something happened there. These guys were 100% occupied because I forgot that province there. I didn't see that province up northwest of their capital. Anyway, it doesn't. Another video I started. This is the second one of today. I'm gonna comment another two, including this one. Paradox is just ironing the heels out. People doing good are punished. They don't know what's testing though. A load of bugs in the new patch. Yeah, of course. Of course there are. And apparently the AI is nowhere near the force limit, with the exception of the Ottomans and Ming, because they have very good trade nodes and they control them pretty hard, so they're still making some money from trade. It's the typical sledgehammer changes always. Don't get enough testing, in my opinion, and they continue. It's Paradox. What do you want me to say? I still remember corruption back in 1.16. And this is another sledgehammer change. Minus 60% income from trade, minus 60% income from production efficiency gained from tech, which is very substantial because it was also free from corruption. Then on top of that, there's a flat almost 9% increase of land maintenance at the beginning of the game. On top of that, every time we take up in military, there's a 100% increase by comparison with the previous patch of the effect of military technology on land maintenance. So what did they expect? It's not, they could have, let's increase the maintenance a little bit, or let's just nerf the production efficiency just a little bit, but no, it's like, it goes down from 5 to 5% at certain techs, goes down to only 2%, which is basically almost irrelevant by comparison. Marco is giving up on you for... What the hell are you saying, Siu? I'm not giving up on you for... What are you saying? Can I repost it to YouTube? What are you saying? I'm not giving up on YouTube, on you for. What are you saying? Let me check the video. I mean, what I'm trying to say, I don't want to rant. I'm saying all these changes are punish the people that do well. You know, you do well, you get punished. Whatever you're doing, that's well. You're beating the game. Many times fair and square. You get punished. You know, it's just punishment after punishment. At some point, it becomes ridiculous, and we're reaching that point. Yeah, you can. Yeah, you can repost it. Go ahead. It's my opinion. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. If we're getting to a position where, like I said yesterday, where we cannot touch the money that the opponents that we defeat in war, we cannot touch their money, their treasury. So if the guy has 200 ducats in the treasury, but only 3 development, I'm allowed to take 5 golds for 25% war score. How ridiculous is that? That's incredibly ridiculous in my book. Then there's the other situation where a guy is broke and we're allowed to take he has no money whatsoever, and we're allowed to take 5 ducats off of them. The guy is gonna die the next day, but we're allowed to take 5 ducats off of them. I'm wondering who the hell, not 5 ducats, 5 loans, and 5 loans can be say a dude with 60 development. That's around 150 ducats. I'm allowed to take them out of nowhere. I wonder who's loaning that money to the guy that's about to die. Doesn't make any sense. It's just more fantasy. It's just a very effective way that Paradox found to, in my opinion, to try to prevent the money exploits the easiest way possible, the way with less work possible. That's the only way that I can interpret that. And it's bad for the game. It makes the game even more fantasy, just like the boats not blockading straits unless we control one end of the strait, and the list goes on. Don't make it too fantastical. See you know, I have my opinions about the game, but I don't. I mean, I respect the work from Paradox. I respect it. Sometimes I don't agree with it. I give my opinion. So if they want to hear it, fine. If they don't want to hear it, well, that's fine too. It's their game. So I just think. Don't. Do whatever you want to do with the video, as long as it's fair. It's fair. I mean, it makes justice to. Don't take it out of context. That's what I'm trying to say. Alright, so I'm still fighting these guys. No, nothing special happened. I'm just fighting the wars the fast that I can fight, and exploring while this dude is still lives. I'm gonna keep exploring and with a few heavies, because, well, if they get intercepted, the heavies will last longer. Probably won't die if it's a couple of if it's a few light ships. They will probably die and get engaged very often. With the few heavies, there's always that's more unlikely. As you can see, that fleet is in trouble. I was trying to prevent that 8 stack to murder my cannons. I still do it in the end, but I had to fight for it. Luckily I had that 11 stack. Building more ships to prevent what you saw there, and because I need, again, the fleet is extremely important to move fast. CU King just created another. A guy is broke, and we're allowed to take. He has no money whatsoever, and we're allowed to take 5 ducats off of them. The guy is gonna die the next day, but we're allowed to take 5 ducats off of them. I'm wondering who the hell, not 5 ducats, 5 loans, and 5 loans can be say the dude with 60 development. That's around 150 ducats. I'm allowed to take them out of nowhere. I wonder who's loaning that money to the guy that's about to die. Doesn't make any sense. It's just more fantasy. Yep, it's just a way, a very effective way that Paradox found to, in my opinion, to try to prevent the money exploits the easiest way possible, the way with less work possible. That's the only situation where a guy is broke. Yep, I agree. I agree. That's what I think it was done. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. I've been following Paradox for many years, and there's a pattern always. It's a pattern that I've just described. Many times that happens. For example, the blockade thingy, it's because the AI cannot deal with that. The AI cannot deal with the player builds certain amount of ships to blockade the strait. The AI cannot respond to that. The AI is not smart enough to say, okay, I have X amount of ships, I need X amount more to go, to wreck those boats so that I can cross. No, the AI just sits there and does nothing. So that's fantasy, and that's a workaround. The easiest way, instead of teaching the AI how to play, it's the fastest way to solve a perceived problem, which is to exploit the poor AI and hurt the poor AI's feelings. So since we cannot hurt the poor AI's feelings, that's not allowed, they come up with that instead of actually teaching the AI how to play. And it goes on. But I'm gonna shut up now with regard to that. I don't want to be misinterpreted. It's just I like these games, I like Paradox, but I would like less fantasy in the game too. And stop punishing the people that do well, because some dude that doesn't really know what he wants comes to the forum and says that he has a lot of money, like I said in the forums yesterday. Sometimes they don't even know what they want. Like a guy that was asking for Ming to have 10 because Ming was OP. Ming is too powerful. Ming is this. Ming is that. In my opinion, it was never this weak. But continuing, because the AI cannot deal with that. Like I was saying, the guy was asking for a pretty big nerfs to Ming. Give him extra 10% on rest at 0 mandate. Give him bad events, give him this, giving that, all bad stuff. Around 2 weeks later, because Paradox, instead of increasing the unrest by 10, he actually gave in to his demands. It was not only him, it was like another 100 that liked the post. And instead of 10, gave +5 unrest at 0 mandate. Then, like 2 weeks later, the guy comes saying that he formed Yuan as Mongolia, if I recall correctly, and unrest screwed this campaign. So they don't even know what they want. Alright, I need to comment this. But nothing out of the ordinary has happened here. It's just, again, trying to win these battles, these wars as fast as possible, building more boats. And I guess I already culture shifted. It can only be this. Yep, I culture shifted. Sorry, I was not paying attention. So, as you can see, I had 8 months scoring time. So, because I've culture shifted the way to... man, damn it, I missed it. With all this talking. About stuff that has nothing to do with these. So, I culture shifted... it was very easy to do. Because I only had to kill the states. My states destate everything. And... find a culture with at least 20 development, make it accepted, then make it primary culture, because it would still be dominant in the country. And that's it. And this will allow me to core all of these in only 8 months. The limitation is still the lack of tolerance, which, for whatever reason, I'm not going above 100. I leave now because I'll started you and myself. No, you can stay. I'll just need to... You don't have to leave. I didn't say that to make you leave. I just said that I missed an important part of the video that I didn't see, because I was probably watching your edits, and I agree with him. I was one who said them, so I agree with everything that I said there. So anyway, I already had talked about it. I was already predicted that I was gonna culture shift to that culture from Kutai. Here we go. Go beat up no guy. But people that are watching here, these are probably also watching because they want to learn something new. So if I'm criticizing the changes in 1.25 instead of actually commenting these, it's probably they want be very pleased. I don't know. Marco agrees with Marco. Yeah. You know, I never heard the expression that when you say something and then you regret it. I don't regret having said that. I just hope it doesn't end up out of the context. You know, already yesterday I tagged DDR Jake and said exactly the same thing, so it won't come as a surprise. Just want to say that I still enjoy this game, and I like Paradox. I wish them lots of success, but I would also love to have a better AI instead of screwing up the game with something that makes the game look silly from a real life perspective. But we can't always have what we want, and I understand that. And yeah, time for Siak to give me almost everything. You see, this money is important, these 200 ducats. It's very important for my economy. In this patch, I wouldn't be able to ask for them. I would probably at tops be able to demand 150 or something. There's no good reason for that. It's just, again, I'm gonna shut up with that. So I'm fighting Crimea along with Nogai. Crimea, I probably won't be able to, probably not, I won't be able to take anything from them. But you can see I'm fighting Jampur, the amount of wars, the amount of, if you compare this with only 15 years ago or something, I'm moving much, much faster. And as I grab more development, the force limit increases, and also the speed of conquest will also increase, because like I said multiple times, the limitation is not lack of points, the limitation is the lack of military. Always with in mind, carpet siege as fast as possible, kill the army, stack wipe it, carpet siege, so that I could move on to the next target. Hello, Rafael. Are you Portuguese? Just wondering. Oh, German. Alright, nice to meet you. And welcome to my stream. I see you is talking about a post by Barbecue for the win in the Paradox forum. An amazing post, in my opinion. But the thing is, see you. Many of his suggestions were actually truthful, you know. I mean, he made an amazing job with Lubeck, but some of the changes actually were well constructed. No, besides the entertainment value, the hilarious, some of those changes were actually very well constructed. It seems he actually spent quite some time thinking about them. At least I know I would. And I mean, some of them are actually fair. If you're doing this to white play, why not do it to tall play? Because, you know, I laughed a lot with that post. Pretty great. German is like grumpy Portuguese. It's not the first time. You're not the first to ask, okay. Yeah, with a name like that, it looks like you're Italian or you're Portuguese. Or even Spanish. But yeah, nice to meet you. So if I spot something else interesting, I will, of course, talk about it. I'm about to wipe that stack from Jampur. The forts were protecting it. I had to take the long way. The AI loves to engage with boats. I mean, the AI loves to engage a weaker stack. It goes. It overcommits to that. Trying to wipe that guy, but so that I can focus on sieging. And we're getting closer and closer to... I need a theologian. My theologian just died. Closer and closer to having a much needed tolerance of Edens, so that my religious unity goes up and I have extra unrest reduction in all provinces that don't have the right religion. Happens a lot every time. They just start talking to me in Spanish, Portuguese. And I don't understand, says Rafael. Alright. I don't speak German, so, well, English will have to do. Apologize. So not much going on, to be honest. I'm still trying to steal provinces from Mongolia. I'm always worried with the money. At this point, I'm losing 69 ducats, like you've seen. Just declared on the Timis. All right, the Timis. I'm trying to remember. This is playing very fast. If I look at the chat, I lose a shit ton of... I lose track. Of all the declarations of war and so on. Probably, I was seeing there the Timurids. The war with the Timurids all probably put me at war with... It's just the Timis. It should be just the Timis. The Timis probably wouldn't honor a call to arms. If I attacked Baluchistan or something. So again, worried with the zombies. Thought I was gonna core all of these at the same time and probably had way too many zombies. So I had to chill. To prevent the country from exploding with rebels. We're almost there. The moment I grab the extra tolerance of Edens, things are gonna change radically. Because when I have no overextension, all the rebel factions will go to 0, with the exception of where I have where I was struck with the zombie sentiment event. That's a whopping plus 15 unrest in a couple of provinces. So by going to 0, by having all factions at 0, I can then, like I said multiple times, take as many provinces as I want, take as much overextension as I want. As long as I get rid of it under 10 months, no zombies will spawn, and then they will all go towards 0 again. Then rinse and repeat until the whole world is conquered. That's pretty much what I did. Checking for alliances. Looks like I'm feeling brave. Above 100, or am I? Nope, 95. Okay, that explains it. I didn't want to see what we saw yesterday with, again, what we saw yesterday with dozens of rebel stocks spawning all over the place. Ended up committing like 50% of my army to getting rid of the zombies, and that can't happen because then I won't have stocks to actually be fighting wars. That's probably my thinking. That was probably my thinking. And again, I knew that all these guys lined up to be annexed. I just need 8 months to core them, so no problem. It's very fast. Focus always on eradicating the armies. Always. So that I don't have to do whack-a-mole or minimize it. Looks like I'm using the stock that was supposed to be fighting rebels. I'm also using to conquer stuff. I did that a few times. Not many, but some times I did it. There were no zombies about to spawn or wouldn't spawn in the near future. Why keep that stock idle, doing nothing, when it could be useful to, well, kill some dudes? There we go. They receive the call to arms. And A dies. So as opening move, for the most part, I eradicate the armies whenever I can. I do it. No doubt about that. See, pretty simple. Now I just have to split, and over. They might still recruit a mercenary or two. That's why I'm sending like at least 2 regiments to each province. Unfortunately, I didn't have enough troops free to actually do the same to looks like I'm at war with Malacca, right? In this case, to Malacca. Yep, I'm at war with Malacca. I didn't have enough free stocks to go siege him. It is what it is, like I said multiple times. The military was always something that slowed me down, the lack of it. Again, it's always the same. States increase the local autonomy to avoid the zombies, and state. In the provinces hit by the zombie sentiment event, I many times I enabled the feudal de jure edict. Okay, let's speed this up slightly. Looks like I'm doing lots of managements with rebel management. We'll see that speed. Speed in Portuguese is velocidade. The VLC is in Portuguese, just in case you didn't know. There we go, feudal de jure. We tried to duck the zombies. Only 6 war. Only 6 were at the time. Yes, you are taking it easy, says Inside Toast. And I realize you wrote that a while ago. Again, that's just a level 1 fort. I sent a massive amount of cannons to take the fort. I mean, the minimum amount needed to take the fort with the maximum speed possible at this point in time. Of course, if I had blockaded Pazai, that would go faster, but probably my fleet is busy or repairing. The Timurids, I'm at war with the Timis, but they basically don't have an army. They probably have like 4 regiments or something. So I just declared war, well, because I could. And I knew that in the very near future I would send armies their way. So here we go. Increase the local autonomy, feudal de jure. That's a whopping -15 unrest. I'm still converting provinces because one of the age objectives of the next age is having converted, if I recall correctly, 10 provinces or something along those lines, 10 or 20. So that's why I'm converting, because but if it wasn't for that, I wouldn't convert, because my conversion strength is very weak and takes a very long time to convert. So during that time, it's just the missionary is just giving me issues with more rebels, you know, extra 6% unrest in a province. That's a lot. These guys were completely wrecked in just a few years by the vassals and their neighbors. I decided to apparently to reach the walls, do an artillery barrage to speed up that siege. I seldom did that because I tried to conserve the military points to grab manpower. It's a very shitty situation to be in, not have manpower, so maximum priority to grabbing manpower with the military points. Then if I was good with regard to that and really needed the siege to end quickly, then once in a while I did artillery barrages, but I didn't do many of them. Since I didn't have 100% overextension, I decided to complement my overextension with a few provinces from Mongolia. Or at least one. They still have armies somewhere. Like I said, I've already said it today, but if the AI has even one regiment running around, makes the peace treaties. We have to wait more to annex them or take 100% war score worth of provinces. Once their armies are dead and all the provinces occupied, usually they're willing to say yes to annexation proposals. At most we have to wait 1 or 2 months, but usually they say yes almost instantly, because the relative strength of alliances is in way on our favor, in our favor. So trying to balance the stocks again. I think that guy is my tributary. Alright, I'm gonna grab a beer really quickly. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. Sorry to keep you waiting. So I think with all this culture shifting is also that we need to have timing for that too. I mean, every time I culture shift, at the very least, it's gonna cost me 100 Diplo. I have plenty of Diplo that I gained from all sources of Monarch points, but especially with raising. But it's not infinite. I can't keep culture shifting every time I win a war, so I have to do blocks of wars, win them all, or before I culture shift to another culture, I need to make sure that all the wars are won and they're all ready to be pieced out, so that I can then move to the next culture. If I then need to come back to one of these cultures, say the truce ended, I could annex the dude, then of course I will have to do that, but the best thing is to actually eradicate them all, if at all possible, to avoid having to spend another 100 points to shift to that culture. Someone orders some champagne for Marco. A beer is insufficiently celebratory. It's fine. Thank you. You still around? Are you still here? Nope. Anyway, this is I'll say it later, but basically I thought, well, celebrate that Deep won't actually have to do the operation. So the Deep. Right, the Ormuz is my tributary, I think. They're not my tributary, they'll be soon. Unless I'm mixing up the runs again. Okay, there we go, create another template, the one that I'm gonna use the most. Nope, apparently I still need 10 regular artillery. I'm still converting the stocks from plain infantry to infantry plus artillery. To make that template, that's probably what's going on. Excuse me. I'm gonna do a double piece on this guy. It would be utterly impossible in this patch to take those 600 ducats. And guess what? I really needed them. Yep, it looks like I'm gonna do a double piece. Yep, no doubt about it. There we go, bye bye. Goodbye and good riddance. Let's grab some more manpower. Or else I would cap and waste them. I'm gonna cap at Diplo. So it's time to start storing Diplo for all the culture shifts and for for the next idea group, which is going to be diplomatic ideas. I'm gonna grab it less than 13 years from now. So it's gonna be a bit painful, but I'm gonna start Diplo in culture conversions. It's painful, but I had to do it. 13 years doing culture conversions, canceling them when they were very near 10%, so that I didn't lose half the points. But the result was amazing. When 1499 came around, I was able to select, if I recall correctly, exploration ideas. Did I? No, I didn't. I went straight to diplomatic ideas. Or I'm trying to remember. Yeah, no, I just picked diplomatic ideas. I didn't take exploration at that point. I took exploration by 1526 or something, 1525. Let me check, I have that written somewhere. Trying to find the paper. Okay, it was by 1529. By 1529 I took exploration ideas, got rid of diplomatic ideas, grabbed exploration just for a brief period of 3 years, give or take, so that I could finally explore the whole world with conquistadors and of course explorers. In the meantime, how did I grabbed maps from my tributaries in the like Ormuz. So let's see what's going on. Nothing special, just fighting the teamies. The other dudes are waiting to be next. I have no truce with that guy, so needless to say that I'm gonna attack him. As soon as a stack gets there. And it's getting there with the fleet. Yeah, the team is they're so screwed. I had a very pleasant campaign with the Timurids in before Mandate of Heaven came out. When they were still a horde, I did the one culture with them. Never played as the Timurids before, just that one. Fine. last one with the Horde government, when they still had the Horde government. That was after the mandate, but before the cradle of civilization. Alright, Anton, that's it then. Thanks for the correction, Inside Toast. I thought that the changes to the Timmies was... Yeah, it was cradle of civilization, you're right. So it was... So after 1.20 or 1.20, 21, 20 or 21. Yep, you're right. Sorry. Thanks for clearing that up. My memory is failing. I made so many campaigns. Hard to remember everything, especially because that was like, I don't know, over 6 months ago. I don't know, something like that. There we go, another war declared. Excuse me. So I've, on YouTube, One Culture, I posted it on the 10th of November, but that was probably recorded like 2 months earlier. So yeah, it was around 6 months. I liked the One Culture run, it was nicely casual, says Inside Toast. Thanks, I'm glad you liked it. So, look at that corruption, it's going down. We now have 2 corruption. I still wanted to bring the corruption down, because having corruption increases the cost of ideas and of course tech. And I really wanted the last idea from the humanist idea group, the extra tolerance of evidence. Less corruption, the faster I could grab it. I mean, corruption increases all the power costs, with exception of culture conversions. Wow, working in making nuclear fuel Inside Toast. Nice. So maybe you can find a job for me there. Just kidding. The other day someone said that I should be doing... What was it? One said that I should be fighting cancer. The other one said that I should be working... Well, something similar to what you're working. I took that as a compliment, of course. Okay, there we go. We have the last idea from the humanist idea group. This means that our religious unity will go above 100 So the cost of stability comes down. No more unrest due to low religious unity. And each one of my provinces should have a -2 unrest due to tolerance. Which is a pretty big deal. I see you more like a programmer. Yeah, I always liked to program since I was a kid, but I never did it as a work. And undercover hypo is sorry, murdering your pronunciation, murdering your name pronunciation, is hosting me with up to 16 viewers. Thanks for the host. That's appreciated. I'm still commenting the world conquest that I finished by the year 1538. This is a recording of that campaign. Didn't play live because I needed to. I mean, I sometimes paused for. Played 5 minutes, paused for half an hour to think what I should do next, or to clear my mind and try to fix the issue, so I couldn't stream these because of that. Needless to say that I couldn't make many mistakes, and that helped me avoid mistakes. Of course, I still did plenty of them, unfortunately, especially near the end, but well, I achieved the objective, which was to conquer the world before 100 years had passed. By doing this, I'm shielding Nogai from the Great Horde and from Muscovy, to make sure that I'll be the only one who feeds on them. The less times the provinces shift hands, the better, because in this patch they increased the local autonomy. So if Muscovy conquered some of Nogai's provinces or the Great Horde, they would probably increase the local autonomy. So when it was the time for me to take those provinces, I couldn't do it, and those provinces would just simply be rebel factories, you know. And of course, Nogai is small, so he'll be next in the next war. No point making a big guy bigger like Muscovy. So we'll be seeing another culture shift. Unless it's some culture. Probably already culture shifted and I didn't notice because I was reading the chat or something. I'm not sure. Some cultures I didn't actually culture shift to because they were smaller, or I didn't have many targets at that moment. So I didn't think it was a good idea to spend 200 points. But probably not. I still have these guys here, so I wouldn't culture shift while I still have Keda and Malacca occupied like that. At least I don't think so. So I'm gonna finish the war with them and then I'll culture shift to something else. Probably to accept the provinces from Baluchistan, from the Timis, and possibly from Jampur too, because Jampur is still pretty big. Hello, SW Maniac, welcome. What's next? I'm not sure yet. Probably Japan or... I'm not sure. I'm still thinking about it. Probably Jiangsu. I I would like to test something with Jiangsu. I don't know. I don't know if I will even stream it. Jiangsu has has some nice missions. I was wondering, how many years could I kill Ming with Jiangsu? Probably around 20, 25. Lots of many people always complaining that they take the mandate and they die. So I don't know. I have lots of stuff in my head. I'm not sure what I'm gonna do. I still have... If I'm gonna keep commenting these, we still have a few videos ahead of us, so I still have time to decide what I'm gonna do next. Unless people get bored of these, and in turn I end up talking to myself. Of course, I will stop with what I'm doing and just upload the videos without any commentary. But for the time being, I will still comment these, at least I think tomorrow. Alright, Inside Toast, I will. Oh, here we are again at war with Uzbek. The truce was up. These guys are small. I was checking probably the overextension to see if I could accept that. I used that edict there on a gold mine because I'm still with issues with money, lack of money. So it was like the only places where that edict can still be profitable is on gold mines. But I don't think I'm gonna keep that edict active for very long. Alright, I attacked probably when I attacked Baluchistan, they were allied with these guys over here. I can't remember their name. I think it starts with an L. Or not, I don't remember. Yeah, it's an M, Mara. They're new in the game, relatively new. This is great because I didn't add the CB against him, and this opens up the door to Africa and the trade companies in East Africa. So we start by eating these guys, then we attack Yemen, then of course we gain the CB on Ethiopia and so on. Before we know it, we will have a next Madagascar and Kilwa, all those guys down there. I'm not worried, Shirvan. Or so it seems. Yeah, they were probably allied with Khorasan. Nope. So what's up? What gives? Maybe it's not Shirvan, it's someone else near Shirvan. Lack of money while owning all of Ming, and that's how hard you push your countries to these records. The problem is not the lack of money. The problem is the problem is not how hard I push myself. The problem is the balance of the game, where the income from provinces was made almost useless. You know, there's something called corruption that forfeits almost 100% of your income that comes from provinces. So if I'm always at 200 overextension, it's like I don't have any income from provinces. So what I have left is just the income from other sources like trade, looting, and gold. Of course, war reparations, but I seldom grab those. That's the problem. Of course, I have lack of money because the mechanics were made to punish the people that expand fast. So corruption was a cookie cutter measure just to, you know, to force you to play the way Paradox wants you to play the game, which is to stare at the screen at speed 5 and basically, if possible, do nothing at all. That's what corruption is for. And that's why I don't have money. Because corruption is taking it all. This is just a punishment for people that actually like to play the game. Be active instead of going at speed 5 and stare at the screen. If I don't like speed 5 and I actually like to, well, fight wars, annex provinces, I have to deal with corruption and lack of money. If I am on the other end of the spectrum, where I look at the screen and do nothing for extended periods of time, I'll be sitting on a very big, huge pile of ducats and lots of manpower. Because, well, I'm not doing anything, so it's just piling up. Then I go cry on the forums saying that I have too much money, please Paradox fix, do something. And then the dudes that actually like to play the game have to deal with the consequences of that. Instead of making both playing tall interesting, they nerf the people that like to play wide, so I don't understand why that happens, but looks like I'm gonna fight some pretenders with a less than ideal stack for whatever reason. Maybe because I thought I have to engage them, because if I don't do so, they're gonna wreck all the little stacks, so I might as well do something right now. I'm not sure. The only Paradox game I can think of where tall play is interesting is Victoria. It says SW Maniac, and I think we already have our answer on getting Victoria mechanics for EU4. Yeah, that's another game. I wonder. If when Victoria, well, I mean, I've been a bit lazy. I haven't. It's not lazy. It's more like there's something about Victoria that doesn't excite me very much. Maybe I'm being lazy. I'm not sure. So I was waiting for Victoria 3 to start playing it. I wonder when that game will come. And, looks like I have some zombies about to spawn because of the unrest created by the missionary. That's slowing me down. Excuse me. It's probably the zombie sentiment event along with the missionary. I really wanted to get that conversion done, so before the end of the month I enabled 1D Dict, the one that reduces the unrest right on the turn of the month. Then, when at the first of the month, I enabled the missionary strength, because missionary strength is calculated every single day. But the zombies only spawn at the beginning of every month, so I did what I could to try to prevent the rebellion. Forgetting to enable the missionary string. I'm gonna clear the war exhaustion. Yep. It was like way too much war exhaustion. You're recording with way too much war exhaustion. That's what I was thinking, and yeah. This is just for the prestige. We have almost the entirety of India under our control. Looks like I'm stepping on the gas. Here we go. I'm gonna shift religion, culture now. So let's remove the provinces from the tribes to farm loyalty. So I'm gonna cancel all the states. Cancel all the states so that those states that I've created, in order for them to be dominant, the ones in Baluchistan. So 100 to accept the culture. What's up? I still only have 20. So I developed, and now make it primary. Cancel the states, give provinces to the tribes. So that they reach 100 loyalty. There we go. Overdid it. Was at 99. Why did I? Whatever. Not important. Next year I could do the same if I wanted. So now bring back the states because, well, I need the force limits, like I said multiple times. I'm trying to check where are the gold mines. Make sure I make them a state. Are we watching the game tape as a way to review and do better, or proof of it happening? Say, asks Johnny Johnny Potsmoke. That's a nice name. Yeah, it's I'm doing it to because I'm very worried that people will say that I cheated, so that's why I'm doing this. Of course not. I'm doing this because, well, this is gonna go to YouTube, and I usually upload these runs to YouTube. Most of the times they don't have commentary, but I'm on a situation where I'm not sure what I'm gonna do next. So while I'm thinking of it, I'm commenting my latest campaign. Not as a way to prove anything, but because I usually upload them to YouTube. So instead of going without commentary, I'm here with you guys, commenting it in the hopes that someone will learn something with what I did. So, who's next? Probably. We're getting closer and closer to the time where I grab the third idea group, and especially we're closer and closer to going to beat up the Mamluks and the Autoderbs. Because only when I grab a truce with both the Mamelukes and the Autoderbs, I can then move my capital to Europe safely without having to deal with coalitions. Looks like I'm gonna attack someone in Manchuria. Probably Kurshin. I'm below the force limit, that can't happen, so let's recruit another stack. If I have force limits, I should focus, I should build more troops. Because the more troops I have, the faster I will expand. I'm probably gonna beat up both of them. Both Kurchin and Janzu, they're probably allied, I'm not sure, but like I said, there were 3 campaigns, so yeah, they're allied. This is the third and the last one that where I actually achieved the objective. Always fighting the same opponents, you know, it makes it confusing. I may be misremembering things because of it. That was the only stack available. So yeah, I went to engage them with half my stack to one side, the other half to the other, and hope for the best. I did add a gigantic advantage in morale, discipline, and tactics, more than likely, over them. So I'm gonna attack a jam, and they're allied with one of my tributaries. Yes, that's why you saw that stack 10 stack there, placed near your omen. There you go. I've wiped them. No time to waste. If you see a stack idle doing nothing, I don't think I have forgot any stack during this campaign, at least not for very long, just a matter of days. So it's because it's waiting for a war, a declaration of war that's gonna happen in the very near future. I don't think that's gonna be the... Oh, alright, I'm gonna do a double piece. Okay, I see. I was gonna say, I don't think that's gonna be the final peace treaty, because that didn't make any sense, because it was severing my connection to the capital, to my capital. Eventually, I'll have a connection. Someone's preventing me from coring, that's as top priority. It's the most annoying situation when I'm coring something and the AI goes siege it down. Really annoying. When I see that, I always send troops to scare them. Time to grab more manpower, because I was about to cap. Again, resetting the culture, so culture conversions, so that I don't lose points. If it goes beyond 10%, the progress of the culture conversions, I lose 10%. I lose 50% of the points. There we go. That fort is fallen, and we ended up wiping the stack from Korshin. 5 siege. Did you see that? General with 5 siege. Really amazing. So time to go beat up Yeren. Sorry, not Yeren. Yemen. And grab a province. Grab a border with Ethiopia. Since they're at war with some other dudes, I need to carpet them like for yesterday. Do tributaries count for world conquest, or are they too autonomous? No, tributaries don't count for world conquest. Just for the world conquest achievement. Nope, just vassals. Vassals and, you know, client states and marches. Colonial nations. But tributaries don't count. I'm not sure why I picked that. I don't need it. Aggressive expansion. Well, maybe I had Muscovy in mind. If we do too much harm to the Muslims that border Muscovy, Muscovy will gain enough aggressive expansion to join a coalition. So maybe because of Muscovy. Maybe I did it because of them. I'm not sure. Maybe there's nothing better than that. Probably just the war taxes. Could have picked the war taxes. Okay, time to increase the local autonomy in the provinces that were cored. Again, I look like broken record. Whenever possible, I wait for the provinces to core before increasing the local autonomy, because I need the force limits. It's just a little bit, but everything counts. I can tell you don't play Christians much. You're already forgetting about personal unions as a world conquest subject. Yes, you're right. And I don't play Christians very much, because most nations in Europe are incredibly boring. But I did play some, like, at the very beginning when I was trying my first world conquest. I started when most people thought it was impossible to world conquest. I was already strategizing to conquer the whole world as Castile, and I almost made it. And unfortunately, the patch 1.4, I think, or 1.5 came and ruined my run. So I didn't actually conquer the world as Castile. If you see the posts on the Paradox forum of Barbecue for the Win, is world conquest with Lubeck. It was similar to the strategy that I used back in 1.4 as Castile. It has similarities. I went down to just a one province minor so that I could duck the rebels and break truces at will, and basically don't have to worry with rebels. So I was already strategizing that in 1.4. It was more than that, but that was part of it. But basically no one knows about that because no one watches my videos on YouTube. It's there on YouTube. Then I played as... It was at the beginning, so I played as... recently I played as Ireland, but I don't even remember what was the religion that I had. Probably just Catholic, because I formed Ireland and that was the end of it, I think. I played as Austria in one point. Yeah, I played as what's it called? Damn it. Frankfurt in 1.7, where I conquered the world. Then in 1.8 I made my first record in U4 as Austria. Then I stopped playing in Europe, basically. I came back with Ireland and Norway for the achievements. With the nations in Europe, most of them are pretty boring because they don't have core creation cost discount, with the exception of, I mean, they're overpowered too, like France, like England, like thanks, Insane Toast. Don't be bitter, it's fun watching you. I'm not bitter. when I rest assured that when I'm bitter, you'll notice. This is not being bitter. This is just saying, well, a fact. Back then, when the core creation time increased with every single province that you owned, I was already strategizing. I had devised a strategy to reduce the coring time to, say, I think it was, I don't want to lie, so it was either 7 months or 7 months, I think, with the Ottomans. I'm not sure. It was something along those lines. 7 to 10 months with the Ottomans, using a special strategy. But that never left the drawing board, because then came another, and that's the end of the video. Came another patch that ended that nonsense, where if you had too many overseas provinces, it increased your coring time. Back then, I think it was still 1.4. The provinces needed over 10 years to core. It was ridiculous. But then that was changed, and that plan never left the drawing board. With that said, I used that same strategy, or a derivation of that strategy, to do my first one tag records with the Ottomans in 1.12. The first record that I grabbed in this game was in 1.8 with Austria. It was just domination record. It was like with vassals. But then in 1.12 I used, like I said, I used a derivation, something, I'm not sure if I'm using the right word in English, something that I devised, having that strategy as an inspiration, and I broke the records for the fastest world conquest in this game for the first time for me in 1.12. Anyway, that's the end of this stream. Thanks for keeping me company, guys. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you guys tomorrow at the same time, unless something prevents me from streaming. But if that happens, I'll leave a notice in my homepage here on Twitch. So thanks again, and have a nice day or nice evening. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Take care. Bye bye.